Hello, hello, hello. Check. Can you hear me? Is everything audible? Everything all right? Um, I hope it's all streaming fine. Just gonna do some tech check. Make sure everything's going well. Can you hear me? Perfect. I think everything is working fine. Welcome, everyone, to another weekends with Karthik. I am back finally at home in the Netherlands after being away for almost a month. Feels great to be home, to be sleeping in a familiar bed, to be, sort of having some sort of a routine back. Have been struggling with a jet lag for the past 2 days. I've been like sleeping and waking up at very odd hours, but I did have a great sleep last night, and today has been good as well. I just took an afternoon nap, but apart from that, it's mostly been good. So if I sleep on time tonight, I am very confident I should be back on the regularly scheduled sleep cycle from tomorrow. So really hoping I can do that. So yeah, the US trip was pretty intense and hectic. Was mostly a business trip, so every couple of days I was going to a different a city. I started on the like the West Coast. We started in LA, then went to SF, then went to Austin, then went to Indianapolis, then to Chicago, and eventually to New York. And yeah, it was pretty incredible as a trip of like a very insightful for, of course, for envision for the business. We were able to sort of understand a lot of how the on-ground operations are taking place, so that way it was really good. At the same time, I did have some like weekends to myself to explore the city around a bit, especially New York. This was my first time in New York, so I took a couple of days off in New York to just go around and do sort of some of our touristy stuff. So I ended up watching a Broadway show. I ended up like walking around a Central Park. I like all of the stuff that normally a tourist would do. And it was really fascinating because I've always had the inclination that like New York is a city that I would enjoy, because I am somebody who enjoys big metropolis, so like cities. I've always like grown up in one. I've grown up in like Bombay or Dubai or all of these big cities. So I do have an inclination for the fast-paced like life that these big cities are able to imbibe, and I was able to experience a slice of it in New York. And yeah, it was, I think, everything that I had thought it would be. It was really intense, really so energetic kind of an environment. So yeah, it was for me really fun to be there for a couple of days, just exploring the city, but also spend time around working from New York. So yeah, if you ask me if that's one, one of the cities I would really enjoy staying in, I think that would be the case. I think New York is a city that I would genuinely enjoy staying in for a bit and working out of there. So yeah, I really enjoyed my trip. I did start feeling the fatigue towards the latter half of the trip. I thought I could just go and do like a like a 1 month trip off the bat, and it'll be fun. It was fun, but yeah, like after the first 2 weeks, just going from airports to hotels and airports, I started feeling the fatigue of it. It's, yeah, like it can get a very exhausting just being on the road. So yeah, probably would like not do such like extended like long trips again, or even if I do, I will like make sure it's a bit more spaced out, because yeah, at like one point of the trip it just became very hectic, where it was just like you land in the city, you do a bunch of meetings in the day, and then you fly out literally the same night or the next morning. So that really, and if you do that consecutively for a few times, it starts to get to you. So maybe for the next time when I do plan this, I will plan it with more of a breaks in between, so I can actually do it without feeling the fatigue of it. So yeah, been back. Nothing much planned for today for this stream. I just thought we will do some fun your design stuff, because yeah, like I'm still want to keep things mellow. Today I still want to get over my jet lag, today. So I just want to do some, like mellow and fun stuff. So I thought, yeah, we'll just, design some things for fun, together on the stream, and I can sort of, and you can sort of like see, what kind of, fun things I do. I've been, wanting to do this just to, design some things for fun. I used to do this a lot when I was a student, just, like make some, posters or any other, stuff that I just want to do for fun, right? It's for no, purpose. It's not for nobody's approval. It's for, it's not for anybody's, like request or something. It's just for me, just having fun, just designing stuff that I think looks cool. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna sort of make some good looking graphics, hopefully good looking graphics. And the idea would be just to do it so that I can explore new design styles. I can explore what, are the new design content that's out there. What are the new, sort of trends that are out there. That's usually the reason I used to do it. If I used to spot a, like a trend in, like in the stuff like graphic design or in a UI design, I would just make a fun, poster with that idea, just so that I can see, like how does it feel you're doing something with it. So that's what I'm gonna do. We'll see what we'll actually get to. It's a very open-ended, attempt from my side. So maybe we'll have a few posters. Maybe we'll have like nothing. It's a very open process for me. So we'll start and we'll see how far we get. And you hopefully will have some insight into how I approach design. Actually, this is not how I approach design. This is just stuff for fun. So I'm just gonna do things that are quick and not dirty. But yeah, at least, hopefully you see some of, the thinking I put behind it. All right, let me see. Let me start sharing my screen. All right. Did it happen? Cool. No. Okay. So I'm hoping you're seeing my screen. Um, so there are two things we're gonna do. First and foremost, we're gonna open Figma. So Figma is sort of this versatile graphic design tool. It's mostly what I use when it comes to designing stuff. You probably have seen this when we were designing when I was designing my, NFT stuff, right? So you probably definitely have seen this when I was doing that. So let me just log into my personal Figma account. View. And new. Right, I hope you can see it. I see that you don't see all of my screen for some reason. Okay, something is up with the positioning. Let me fix that real quick. Cool. So yeah, there's Figma. Sorry. So what I wanted to do was maybe just, so there are a bunch of stuff you can design for posters. So like when I used to design stuff for fun, I would either pick a movie or a TV series or something that I've been, like watching and I've been obsessed with. Recent, I'll sort of take elements from that and I will do my best to, like make a poster of it. I do find the art of making a film poster to be very fascinating in itself. That's an episode I want to do where I want to sort of like review some of the best movie posters that have ever been designed. That's something that's in the books that I really want to, do. But the other thing is easy thing to design, like because when you're designing stuff, you just want like some source of inspiration that's external, and then you want to use that inspiration to come up with your posters, right? Because coming up with something entirely is not great. So the other good source of inspiration is your quotes. So if I come across a quote that I find to be sort of profound and to be nice, I will take that quote and I will make it into a poster. So I will sort of do my best to sort of visualize what that quote is and put it into into a poster. So I used to do that a lot. At like one point, I was doing screen printing, and I used to sort of just screen print like codes. Let me see if I still have some examples of that, so you know what I'm talking about. So you can probably see some of my stuff here that I was talking about. So, for example, I had this. This one's not great. It looks pretty shit. I'll tell you that now. Oh no, it's an AI file. Oh, you see it. So yeah, basically this was like a minimalist post I was trying to make, which says there are no your passengers on spaceship Earth. We are all crew, and I had this idea of making an Earth look like a spaceship. Not the best execution of the idea, I would admit. This was when I was still a student and sort of playing around with AI and stuff. By AI, I mean your Adobe Illustrator. So yeah, this was one that I screen printed. This one I really liked. I think it came out well. This is sort of let's see, where's the completed one. So basically, oh yeah, you won't see the completed one. So basically, I was reading this book. I was doing a research on cancer, and I was reading this book. Let me see if I still have it. I don't. So there's this book called Emperor of All Maladies. It's about how cancer is sort of this incurable disease that's out there for years, and there's just no way doctors and scientists are able to figure out how to cure it. Sort of it goes into that, and one of the quotes in that was called "Omnis cellula est cellula," which means every cell comes from another cell, right? That's basically what it means. So like every cell from another cell, which basically tries to say is that no cell is like created new. It's not possible for you to make a cell out of nothing. Every cell has to be created from another cell, and by cell I mean like the part of like the lowest element of a biological element, right? So it says omnis acellula, which means every cell has to be created from another cell. And this was a big discovery at that point, because it was sort of understood that the cancer cell are also being created from existing healthy cells. So it's sort of that's the context at which it was discovered. But I feel like found the concept itself of omnis acellula to be a very strong one, which meant that everything comes from something that has previously existed. There's nothing that's new. Everything has already been done, and then they just evolve and like mutate into a new things. So for my screen printing, what I'd done was I'd found this image of cells who were which are mutating. So I had this done, and it sort of was done in a dotted fashion, because when you're screen printing, you need to make sure that you're dotted like this, so that you can actually get a good screen print out of it. So I had this image, and then on top of that, I'd put this text, which is omnis cellula, sort of in a handwritten format. And when I would screen print, I would first do a layer of this, and then on top of that, I would do a layer of this. So it's sort of this text overlaid on this background is sort of how the text, like how the thing it came out to be. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's no way for me to show you the final thing. I do have some screen prints, but they're definitely in a box right now, which will take me too long to figure out and open. But yeah, this is something that I think it turned out really well. This I liked. What else? This one was a favorite of mine. It's called Choices. Um, so basically, yeah, this also like had whoops. This also had to be done in two parts, where the end a result would be this, which is we are our choices, and these dots that you see actually represents every day in humans life, right? And what it says is that if a human being was to live up to 100 years, these are how many dots are there. So each block you see here is actually decades of human lives. So this is your 20, 40, 60, 8, no, it's 10 years of human life. Sorry. So yeah, each row is 1 year, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I sorry, I forgot because it's been a while. So each block is a decade, right? So each block is like 10 years, is what each block represents, and each your dot here represents 1 day in your life, right? So if you were to live up to 90 years, this is exactly how many days you have in your life, right? So you have this many days, that's it, like nothing more, nothing less. This is sort of how many days you have to live, and they can all be plotted on to one A4 sheet. Like that's how sort of like short the time span is. So for me, that was a very like fascinating thing to sort of visualize at that point. This came from an article I had read by Await, but Awai, with who sort of attempts to visualize human time in a visual context. So I had this graphic element which sort of represents each day in human life, and when I screen printed this, I actually used multiple of colors to screen print it. So when I actually did a screen print, every dot had like a different color on it, right? So some were bright, some were dark, some were dull. So the idea was that this is actually how many your days we have. Your some days will be great, your some days it will not be that great, and we don't get to choose what kind of a day it's going to be. But what we do get to choose is how we act upon those days, and thus we in essence become a summation of every action we take on each of these days. That's basically what ends up making us. So like we are nothing but a summation of the choices that we make on each of these days. Hence we are our choices. So that was sort of my idea behind this screen print. So yeah, it came out pretty well. I made a bunch of these prints. I gave it to like a lot of my friends. So this is the one that I really enjoyed. I think it came out really, really well. Then yeah, just some stupid stuff. I made like a pink elephant, just because I thought it looked cool. So yeah, that's sort of kind of stuff I did. I see something on ideas. It was like ideas that I had which I never did in screen printing. So this is sort of stuff I came across, which this one actually I did. So yeah, these are like different stuff that I'd come across at that time. So yeah, going back to this, I'm going to look for some quotes, and I'm going to see if I want to turn some of them into a poster, right? That's basically what we're going to do today. And what better place to look for a quote than looking at like tweets on Twitter. So I'm just gonna go to Twitter, and because I come across great tweets, I think on Twitter, and often I just I just give them a like or I add them to a bookmark. So I'm just gonna go to my profile and I'm gonna see what are the tweets I liked, and we'll make a selection of few which we think are good, and then once we made the selection, we'll pick one that we can make a poster on. Yeah, a lot of these are probably just gonna be yeah, tweets I've liked which are not really quotes, but I think there are some good quotes out there as well. Let's see. Ooh, talking about your posters, I came across this tweet which has some Japanese posters of Tamil films, and I find it incredible. I think your Japanese folks make really really good posters. I really like their like sort of like layout style where it's just not it's very very different from what you see as a conventional Bollywood or Hollywood poster. Yeah, so these are some of the Tamil films that they had made a poster of, and I think it's fascinating. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work because I'm not sure if I have good. I have just liked a lot of Envision stuff. The giver is the recipient. Buddha. Yeah. We swallow a greedily any lie that flatters us, but we sip only a little bit. Add truth we find bitter. This is a good one. Let me just save these somewhere. Let me save this directly on Figma itself, I think. Okay. This guy has nice quotes usually, so if we can't find anything on our thing, we'll go to his page. A lot of NFT stuff. Surprise, surprise. Uncertainty, not outcome, is the root of stress. This is a good one. Very, very true. Oops. The world's most valuable skill, clarity of thoughts. The problem, there's no school for this. It takes time, patience, careful. This was a really nice code, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's widely. Yeah, it's very specific to startup founders who are raising VC fund. It says, I've always thought the biggest thing a founder buys from a VC is a bridge loan of c- c- credibility in advance of tangible evidence, which I think is a great code. But yeah, it's I think too niche. The single most important decision you make is where you live. It drives your business and opportunities, relationships, food and water supply, politics, activities, and day-to-day quality of life. Every feature has some a maintenance cost, and having fewer features lets us focus on the ones we care about. It's a nice poster. I keep wondering how many people you need to be before you can be yourself. It's a good one. You have to be an optimist to be good at encouraging people, because you have to believe that you're saving, because you have to believe what you're saying about them for it to be convincing. Nullus in verba means take no one's word for it. In other words, figure it out yourself. That's the only way to know anything. Nullus in verba. It's a nice one. Here are some quotes which has been thinking. Process saves us from the poverty of our intention. Anxiety is failure in advance. Growth and success based on habits and system are more sustainable growth based goals. You must never be fearful about what you're doing when it's right. Let's see, we need one more, I think, then make a choice. What we are familiar with, we cease to see. If you hit a wrong note, it's the next note that you play that determines if it's good or bad. Nice. Cool. I think we have a good list of quotes now to choose from. Oh, now we have to pick one and work on it. We swallow greedily any light that flatters us, but we sip only at the truth we find bitter. So now I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna think of ideas, and then which one is the easiest to do is what I'm gonna do because I'm being lazy. But yeah, normally you pick one and then you make a lot of different ideas for them, and then that's how usually it goes. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick one and see if there are some ideas. So for the first one, we swallow greedily any a lie that flatters us, that we sip only little at the truth we find bitter. So I really love the thing of it. I'm thinking if there's a way to represent it nicely visually. Um, because it would actually mean, yeah, thinking how you can actually make a one panel, someone just like sort of after gulping down water, the other one they're just sipping at it through a straw or something. Uncertainty, not outcome, is the root of stress. Uncertainty, not outcome, is the root of stress. That's a really good quote, actually. This could just be like a simple wordplay, like uncertainty, outcome, stress. I keep wondering how many people you need to be before you can be yourself. If you hit the wrong note, it's the note that you play that determines. I wonder how many people you need to be before you can be yourself. I think that's the one I'll go for. I have some idea of how I want to do that. How many people you need to be before you can be yourself. So what I want to do for that is just, I wonder how many people you need to be before you can be yourself. Right? So what it's essentially saying is that you sort of pretend to be a bunch of different people, and at some point when you have understood things, you have attained some sort of an enlightenment, you can actually be yourself, where you no longer have to don't pretend to be anyone else. So basically we're wearing different masks every day, pretending to be someone else, but at some point we can truly be ourselves. So a simple idea for this would be just a bunch of different masks, and then amidst all that mask in between is you. Sounds like a good idea. Let me see how I'm thinking of it. So I'm thinking there'll be a bunch of different masks on a wall or something. And then one of them is actually you amidst all of that. And then here's where the quote will come. I'm thinking of something simple like this, where it's just gonna be yeah, it's just gonna be a bunch of like masks on apparently hanging on a wall, and then in between of those masks is you. So sort of a way to show that you're wearing different masks before you can actually be yourself. Or should that you be at the very end, right? Maybe that's the one. So the you is like the last person in the matrix. Let's make a wireframe of it. What dimension should I make it? Should I make it? I'm gonna make it an A4. I think it's the. Let's make it assuming it's gonna be a print poster. Or an A3 is better for print, no? I'm gonna do an A3. Why is there no A3 in this, dude? What is A3? Isn't A3 just like twice A4 or something? Let's see. Let's go that. Okay, A3 in pixel. Four nine six one three five zero eight. 4961358. 4961358. 4961358. That's what it said, right? It's huge. Let me double check. 4961358 seems right, but I need this turned over. Okay. Then let's see masks. How many do I want to put? 4 in a row. No, I am stupid. I should group these first, and then I should duplicate the group. And then they come up about here. Then I select them all. Then I distribute vertical spacing. And then the code will come somewhere here. Oops. It's gonna be huge. Cool. So The idea is that all of these are masks except this last one, which is not a mask, right? So I need to find a mask. I need to design masks that can be. How do you make masks look like masks? What makes a mask look like a mask? And how can I make this one not look like a mask, right? So that's sort of the big design test of this whole thing. What makes one oval a mask and what makes other one not a mask? The threads on it, the place to put strings, the empty eye sockets. Um, what else would you say makes mask a mask? Mm, that's an interesting question to tackle first before we go into this. Right, so you have two things. One of them is a mask, one of them is not a mask. So let's see, let's look for inspiration. Let's go and look for mask illustrations. Let's just start with mask, not mask, not face mask. Mask illustration. Let's see. Oh yeah, because of COVID, we're all gonna get these face masks. How do I say mask? This is nice. Ooh, this is really nice. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice if I just like use a bunch of these? So you have different looking masks, like really fancy different masks, and then it's you and your face. So these are all African masks apparently. That could be nice. It's more colorful and like not like the very minimalistic, or kind of like this. Damn, I'm not gonna pay for that. But definitely something I want to use as inspiration. Save image. Let me put this one here. Let's see, let's find some more inspiration. How do I define mask? Full mask. Oh. Bandana, carnival mask. Costume mask. Yeah, I wanted so in my head I wanted like something simple like this, like illustrations of something simple like this. This is what I was going with when I thought of the idea first, but now that I see the African mask, I'm also getting a bit confused. This is also, oh, this is nice. Yeah, so I had something like this in mind exactly. It's also a good idea actually, just have these. Oh, this is a really good one. We can use these in some ways. Hmm. Maybe just masks like these, but in different textures. So gold, wooden, to show that you're wearing different faces. Those could be great ideas as well. Right, let's put all of these inspirations here. This one I really like. I'm getting good ideas with this one. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, this is like a nice, simple, quick, dirty one as well, right? It's just the masks behind that talk about. Of course, this is just me putting a quote on an image of masks that I found, so not super creative, but yeah, I like it sometimes when simple does. I don't know if you need to be. Cool. I want to put a pin on this for now. I think we have like a nice early concept, which is a quick one. Just took a nice image I found and put it here. But yeah, there's a lot of other things we can do with the other images I've found. So yeah, the idea normally would be if I have the time and if this is something I'm doing for a client or something, then I would actually spend a lot of time exploring a lot of these different ideas and make quick dirty prototypes of this, and then use those quick dirty prototypes to either get some idea from the client which one are their preference, and then elaborate on that a bit. But yeah, if I'm just doing it for myself for a fun, I will still just make a few different like models of this, make it quick, and then pick one idea that I really want to focus on and elaborate and make it more detailed. So that's usually how that part will go. So yeah, this is sort of a quick, dirty insight into how I am designing stuff for fun, just to keep my brain active and making sure I'm still doing like the creative of like fun stuff on the side. So yeah, I will pause this stream here for now. I hope you guys had fun. You got some insight into what my thought process are when I'm sort of trying to design something. But yeah, I'm gonna call this for today. I need to step out and do some things. So I again thank you all for joining. I'll see you on next weekend at the same time. Until then, do take care of yourself and have a good